Alfredo Stranieri presented himself as a successful businessman in France during the late 1990s. He was known for purchasing struggling businesses and giving them new life. But behind the deals, there was a darker motive. Stranieri developed a pattern. He would respond to classified ads from people selling small businesses, motels, car dealerships, nightclubs. His method seemed simple: buy, take over, and run. But shortly after each transaction, something strange would happen. The sellers would disappear. In 1997, Jean-Pierre and Françoise Escarfale sold the used car business to Stranieri. The deal closed, and they vanished. Stranieri claimed they had moved abroad. In 1999, Jean-Michel and Michel Guérin sold him a small hotel. Soon after, they also went missing. Stranieri was now running multiple properties previously owned by people who had mysteriously disappeared. He even lived in the home of one couple. He gave himself the title director, and nothing seemed out of place, until police grew suspicious. Authorities opened investigations into the missing owners. Stranieri had legal documents and signed contracts, but something didn't add up. The original sellers had stopped all communication with friends and family. No travel, no calls, no withdrawals. Eventually, police discovered the bodies of Jean-Pierre and Françoise Escarfale buried in a cellar of a house Stranieri had acquired. Both had been murdered shortly after signing the sale. Soon after, the remains of Jean-Michel and Michel Guérin were found as well, buried in another property. Stranieri was arrested. During questioning, he denied everything. He claimed the victims had simply disappeared of their own free will. He remained calm, composed, and adamant. But the evidence told a different story. His fingerprints, ownership transitions, and the locations of the bodies all pointed to premeditated murders for financial gain. In 2003, Alfredo Stranieri was convicted of 4 murders and sentenced to life in prison, with no possibility of parole for 22 years. While in prison, Stranieri became known for bizarre behavior. He declared himself a candidate in the 2007 French presidential election, despite being incarcerated. He also proposed marriage to another infamous inmate, and his letters to the media were filled with grandiose and delusional claims. Stranieri became a symbol of greed, manipulation, and calculated violence. His crimes were coldly executed, driven by profit, and carried out without remorse. He didn't use weapons or force to begin, just charm, contracts, and the illusion of opportunity. Once the paperwork was signed, the victims were no longer useful to him. He is remembered in France as a modern example of a killer who used business deals as a weapon, and buried the truth beneath the surface.